Hello my lovely wolf pack, I am back with yet another scary video. Today we're going to be talking about a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and especially because it comes from Louisiana, which is my home state. I was born here. Today we're going to be talking about the Rougarou. Now, if you've seen Supernatural, you know what we're talking about. It's basically a very powerful werewolf, stronger than your ordinary werewolf. It originated from Louisiana way back in the day, and yeah. So before I start the video, remember to like and subscribe to my channel, follow me on everything, and links in the description for my last video if you have not seen it. Roll the intro. Alright, so I also want to say that I also created an outro again, so I will be using that in this video and future videos. So, if you have not heard of the Rougarou, it is a very powerful werewolf, and its folklore is in Louisiana, which is in the United States. So I'm going to show you some of the history and read some of it. And I'm going to pop up a few pictures here and there to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alright? Later in the 16th century version, people viewed the phenomenon of the Rougarou as a gigantic disorder. Alright? Rather than something you could catch from someone else, or be cursed into by a witch. According to the genetic, I hope I said that right, genetic version, a person's life would be normal until whatever happens to trigger the connection turned on. The person's body then enlarges and then develops a craving for raw meat. In order to complete the final transformation, the person / Rougarou has to take a bite of human flesh. So, yeah. And, as a fan of Supernatural, that does make kind of sense. Now, remember, Supernatural is a scripted show. It's fake. However, it is based on a lot of folklore, religion, and etc. But remember, it's Hollywood, so they do alter it a tiny bit. But that fact is correct. They get a crazy craving of the munchies. They eat pretty much all raw meat. What's crazy about it is that they'll be normal. They'll look like you or me until something happens to them. Anything could happen that would trigger this transformation. Sorry, I got the cold. Oh, damn. I feel like crap right now, but I'm gonna make this video anyways. Anyways, so to complete this transformation, you know, I don't know what specifically happens. I think it's different for each Rougarou, but you know, they trigger it and then they get a crazy munchies for the raw meat. And like it says, it's got to eat long pig, aka human flesh, depending on where you grew up. And my mom told me that when she was a kid, they didn't want their kids going out at night, so they say, don't go out at night or the Rougarous will get you. I'm going to show a picture of a Rougarou right here. So yeah, so that's kind of Louisiana folklore right there. So I really wanted to talk about this since Louisiana is my home state. I was born here. I'm not going to say what specific city, but I was born in Louisiana. So, see, there's a lot of things in Louisiana that sucks, but most of the stuff in Louisiana does suck. But however, food, art, and of course folklore, pretty interesting, you know? Not as interesting as Japanese folklore, but pretty interesting nonetheless. So let's read more of this. Sorry. As the fresh set sail and settled, okay, I cannot read that. Something in Canada, and later Louisiana. In the South, in the American South, the story came with them and mutated. In modern times, throughout Clinton, Louisiana, the beast has developed several consistent characteristics. It's described as standing between 7 and 8 feet tall, as a horrible sharp teeth and growling with red eyes. So, pretty much, when the transformation happens, pretty much just looks like your ordinary werewolf. But remember, it is much more powerful. See, I would consider myself a regular werewolf. My girlfriend would kind of be a vampire, which actually kind of it's kind of funny because werewolves and vampires are enemies, but we're, together. But my friend Tara, who you've seen in my older videos, she is more of a Rougarou. And if you're watching this, Tara, hey. Also, if you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. We've talked about it before. Yeah, I like to fantasize with my friends that were werewolves. And since or monsters. But anyways, since my spirit animal is in every single type of dog, and one of them is a wolf, makes sense, right? I mean, every dog is a descendant of a wolf. Whether it's domesticated or it's a fox, doesn't matter. It is a descendant of a wolf. And all cats are descendants of, like, saber-toothed tigers. We adopted both in the Stone Age. Anyways, let's move on, shall we? Okay, let me just, fast forward this. It becomes an animal form in the night. Sorry. Of the full moon. Werewolf. It could be anyone. Neighbor, librarian, dentist. With all the storms flooding in recent years, it's thought the beast made its way into the city, New Orleans. Been there. Because the city residents claim they have heard of terrifying growls at night, cited on the TV show Destination Fear. Really? I've never actually heard of Destination Fear, but maybe. The legend and folklore. According to the Professor Barry Jean, I cannot pronounce his last name, an expert in Cajun folklore, and I really hope I said that right, at the University of Louisiana, Lafayette, the legend of the Rougarou is common throughout the area. He reiterated the story, original in medieval France, and was thought to be a tale told to children to keep them away from the woods. The story was followed the French settlers to Louisiana, and was further beyond French Canadian migrating down to New Orleans within the last couple hundred years. Artwork above by the New Orleans. I'm just gonna skip that because it's just telling where the artwork is. I'm going to put this in the description, by the way, if you want to read more. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to read this last paragraph, and then I'll let you read it yourself. The professor indicated that the Rougarou is said to be prowl in the swamps and bays. Anyway, of Louisiana, this, well as the areas around New Orleans itself, he added that it has the body of a man, the head of a wolf dog. Besides using the tails to keep children in line, it was also used as a way to keep Catholics in line. There is a story that goes, if you don't observe the strict rules of Lent for the 7 years in a row, you will automatically turn into a Rougarou. Whatever. Anyways, you guys, that is all I'm going to read about it. Now, sorry, think about it. Interesting fact about this particular monster is that it can literally be anyone, and I don't know if you can be turned into a Rougarou. I honestly don't know, because I've never heard of anyone turned into a Rougarou specifically. But, hold on. But, I'm going to say a couple things that I think y'all should know. Alright? So, there are two types of werewolves. There are two. There's the birth and the bitten. Now, I'm going to explain what that is. See, a birth is the offspring of two werewolves. I almost said vampire, sorry. So, sorry. But my thing is, those werewolves could be both births or could be one of each. Now I'm going to explain what a bitten is. Yes, they're not always bitten. Sometimes they're scratched. I know. You don't have to tell me. But what I'm trying to say is that a bitten is the official term for it, despite some of them being scratched. Now, a bitten has not been born a werewolf. It has actually been born a human, but then later transformed into a werewolf. Now, during this time, a werewolf, you might be triggered by different things. Let's say the werewolf, it only turns at full moon, when that's the common, myth, right? It's like, oh, change only in the full moon. Well, yes, that is true, but that only applies to the bitten. Okay, and the thing is about the bitten, at first you'll have no memory of it once you turn back to human. You will have no memory. It'll be like, the fuck, how did I get here? But after a while, you will slowly start to get visions of yourself killing and consuming people as a werewolf. And yes, that happens. But eventually, you'll get all the memories. You will not forget. You won't have bits and pieces. You'll have the full-ass memory. And, of course, you'll be able to control it. So yes, you can be a werewolf at night and fully take control of your transformations, but yet again, only at night. So, there's that. If you're bitten in the daytime, you can't transform. However, you might be a little stronger and faster. You'll just look like a normal human. Your senses might also be stronger. But like I said, you'll be looking like a human. So you look kind of strange. But anyways, now a birth, on the other hand, is different. They're born a werewolf. They're not limited to the full moon. Which, by the way, only full moon. If you're in a half moon, you won't change as a bitten. But anyways, so a birth is different. You see, a birth, they were born a werewolf, which means that because of that, they can transform day, night, noon, whenever they want. And just like the bitten, they won't have memory at first of them killing people as a werewolf. But over time, they will slowly gain the memories and then full-time memory. Which, I know, weird. But that's how it is. And when you're a werewolf, your senses, you have super strength, your senses are stronger, you're faster, you're a better hunter. Now we're going to go back to the bitten for a second, and I want to say something. There's a cure for being a werewolf. It's extremely difficult to get or make, but it's possible. It only applies to bittens, though. If you're birthed, there's nothing you can do. So, what I'm trying to say here is that if you are a bitten, and you haven't killed anyone yet, you can be saved by the cure. But just like vampires, if you eat a human heart, or flesh of a human, which is what werewolves eat, there's no going back from that. You're stuck like that. It's either die or just run off. But vampires, that's a whole other video. And the reason I'm bringing up a werewolf, if you're probably like thinking, if a Rougarou is different, why do you explain the rules of a werewolf? Well, Rougarous are basically more powerful versions of werewolves. See, regular werewolves are the nerds, and then Rougarous are the jocks, But anyways, I'm just explaining the basis of werewolf so you can understand the Rougarou better, obviously. So, during a Rougarou's process of transformation, things might be a little different. At first, they'll get a little hungry, and then hungrier. Then, random times, they would be like cramping. They would feel kind of like a cramp type feeling, going not just in one place, but going up and down their arms, up and down their back, through their stomach, their neck, everything. And that's because they are transforming. They're metamorphosed. Now, anything can trigger it. Allergies, medication, overdose, car crash, whatever you gotta do, it can trigger it. Different things for different people, as we all know. Now, after that metamorphosis of cramp feeling, it'll stop automatically, and you'll feel normal. You'll shrug it off, obviously, and do whatever, you know? And for some reason, your behavior will change. You can be, I don't know, you can be a Christian, not knowing you're a Rougarou, and you can go off and go to church and be a good person, never do drugs, never drink, always do this, follow the rules, you name it, right? But once that metamorphosis starts, your behavior changes. And you become a bad person. Most Rougarous I've heard of, not just on Supernatural, obviously, but I've looked into the Rougarou before. I've heard stories on YouTube. I've read some of them on Reddit, but mostly I heard more about them on YouTube. There was one story about a guy who supposedly met a Rougarou when he was in New Orleans at the time. This guy he met at the mall. There are malls in Louisiana. And he was kind of like a church guy, you know, nerdy, always played by the rules, you know, the type. But he met him again. He accidentally ran into him like 2 days later at a bar. Even though he wore a shirt that says never drink. It's bad, basically. It didn't say it's bad, but that's what I believe he believed. Anyways, so basically he got confused. And he's like, oh, you're a drinker now? And he's like, yeah, I want to try it. So they had a couple beers. And what's weird, later that night, he went home. Not the Rougarou, the other guy. Well, he walked out and noticed a car following him. When he realized he saw that car before. He saw it at the mall with that nerd guy. Sorry, my nose is fucked up. The nerd, ended up getting out of the car, running him down and killing him in front of his wife. The Rougarou ended up going to jail, and after that, legit ended up escaping. No one's seen him since. Now that is one example. I'm not going to say all the examples I can know of, but that's just one of them. Now, you see what I mean by behavior changes from good to blech. And like it says in the lore, after the behavioral and the metamorphosis starts, raw meat. Okay, you'll get real hungry. You know, you'll eat like a cooked steak, still hungry. Eat a hot dog, still hungry. Burger, still hungry. Raw chicken, raw beef, raw fish, you name it. But then, they get the real hunger. Human flesh. Yes, they will eat human flesh. But, like I said, it starts out as the munchies for everything and then human flesh. And when that happens, you're screwed. There are sometimes people saying that if they only eat raw chicken and beef, they won't go through the 4 metamorphoses and they'll just look human forever. But as far as I know, there's not been a lot of those cases because, you know. But in that moment, when you are metamorphosing and at that desperate moment of hunger, you'll attack a human and eat them. Flesh, bone, guts, brain, you name it. They'll eat you. They will eat you. Now, let me think. How do you kill a Rougarou exactly? Well, same as any other werewolf. Silver. Silver bullet, silver blade, silver nitrate in the needle. As long as it's silver, you got it. I'm not saying stock up on different weapons. If I were you, I would take different metals that kill different monsters and take 10% of each and melt it into a sword, or you could do each one. But to be honest, any Rougarou can kill just like any werewolf. Silver. All you have to do is silver. Stab it, shoot it, whatever. As long as you got silver in the Rougarou, it should be killed. There is something else you can do. If you can take bullets and if you don't have any silver bullets and you want to get a distance, all you have is regular bullets. You can bless them You can have them blessed, and when you shoot them with regular bullets, it won't kill them, but it'll slow them down. See, anything evil, whether it be, this really only applies to physical, unless it's a demon possessing someone, then that's different. But if you take a blessed bullet and shoot it at something evil, it burns them like acid. So it'll slow them down. It won't kill them, it'll slow them down. So, that'll work. Now, it won't work with holy or moon water, depending on which one you use, because that's water. But a blessed blade or a bullet will work. But, thank you guys for watching. I really like this video because it comes from my home state. So please like, subscribe, follow me and everything, and links in the description for my last video, along with all my other links, and the link to the story of the Rougarou that I just got finished reading for you guys. So, thank you guys for watching so much. I really appreciate it. Our wolf pack is growing even bigger. So I thank you guys for that. And, yeah, see you next time. Bye.